Hello, and welcome to Bits, Bytes, and Barrels 101. My name is Jeffrey Cann, your course instructor and guide to the world of digital in oil and gas. With oil prices struggling to recover from their peaks in 2013, with demand flat or indeed declining around the world in every market except Asia, and with innovations like electric vehicles poised to destroy some of the demand for oil and gas, there's a real drive in the industry to improve its cost and productivity profile, and most importantly, to improve its environmental impacts. Digital technologies like artificial intelligence, cloud computing, and blockchain have much to offer the industry in terms of adding value, creating new business models, and improving performance. So whether you're an oil and gas professional seeking to future-proof your career, or an innovator with an idea that oil and gas might want, or a student trying to build your skills that you can't get elsewhere, this course will help you raise your game and improve your career and business prospects. The course is made up of 5 major sections. First, we'll look at digital from a conceptual perspective. What is digital? How do you define it? Second, we'll look at the major digital technologies that comprise digital, which include things like artificial intelligence and blockchain, and most importantly, how they work together. Third, we'll break down the oil and gas industry from the wellhead to the point of consumption, exposing the key drivers for the industry and the opportunities for improvement. The fourth section will look at the different challenges you'll face in implementing digital innovation in companies. These are the management challenges, such as cyber and talent issues, things that you need to get across so that you can help your clients, customers, or even your own team embrace digital. And finally, the fifth section we'll look at for the digital industry from a board point of view. How do you support the most senior leaders in industry in their journey to address digital change? Well, that's a bird's eye view of the course. Now, let's take a closer look at the different modules in the course and what you can expect to learn.
Let's do a quick review of the curriculum for digital oil and gas, and I'll walk you through each of the sections so you can get a sense as to what's included in this course. The course is divided up into 11 sections and a 12th optional section. The optional one will be on the oil and gas 101, like what is the oil and gas industry and how is it structured. But section 1 for digital oil and gas starts off with a definition for digital. And here we'll look at the International Energy Agency's definition of digital, which includes analytics, data, and connectivity. We'll consider the impact of 2 governing laws, Moore's Law and Metcalfe's Law, on the digital industry, and the capital markets response, how the capital markets value digital companies, and where the digital companies are investing time and energy, and what did the early adopters of digital have learned around ecosystems, cyber, and the potential for new business models. Then we'll look at a digital framework which I've created for thinking about digital. It incorporates data, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, robots, cloud computing, blockchain, enterprise solutions, process tools such as agile and user experience, and change management questions associated with people and talent. Section 3 then does a deep dive into those specific areas. First on data and its importance to digital, the different kinds of data and the value that the data has in oil and gas. And then for the industrial Internet of Things, we'll look at sensors and SCADA systems, use cases and value there. In artificial intelligence, we'll walk through differences between AI, machine learning, and analytics, and discuss the role of an opportunity for artificial intelligence-related tools in oil and gas and the value that they can create. And finally, we'll look at bots, robots, and automation, specifically concentrating on the differences between front and back office and where these tools now create value in cost and productivity. Number 4, section 4, will be a deep dive into 3 other technologies in the digital framework, which are cloud computing, blockchain, and ERP technologies. In the area in cloud, we'll look at the 2 types of clouds and the cloud providers, as well as the use cases for cloud technology. Blockchain, we will provide a definition of blockchain, as well as use cases and examples in oil and gas of where blockchain is currently being used and the value that blockchain is providing for those early adopters. In the final area in this section will be on enterprise technologies or ERP systems. We'll look at the history of ERP systems in oil and gas, recent developments and innovations that make ERP systems more attractive, and finally conclude with why ERP technology is actually really important to digital adoption. Section 5 will look at 3 emerging digital technologies: gamification, 3D printing, and augmented and virtual reality. In gamification, we'll provide a definition and look at some of the features of gamification that are really relevant to the industry, as well as opportunities in oil and gas. In 3D printing as well, current state, opportunities, and the value that 3D printing can deliver. And digital reality, which includes augmented virtual reality and mixed reality, will provide definitions as well as examples from the automotive sector and show how that can be used in oil and gas and what the value creation possibilities are. Section 6 introduces a digital maturity model. This is a model for measuring the maturity of digital technologies. There's lots of them out there, and so we need to be able to understand what their value promise is. So we'll provide a definition of maturity, as well as the maturity and likely impacts of all of the digital technologies I've discussed relative to oil and gas in the context of that maturity model. Section 7 introduces the timing and impact framework. This is a model for measuring the value and timing of digital for the industry, and we'll look at technology suppliers, service companies, retail, exploration and production, and the midstream in that order. And then Section 8, we do a deep dive into upstream. We'll have a quick review of the upstream industry and what its components are, the orthodoxies of the upstream sector that digital can disrupt, which of the digital technologies are likely to be most impactful, and what new business models are being unlocked in the upstream. We'll do the same thing again in Section 9 with the midstream, a review of the sector, the orthodoxies of the midstream industry and which ones can be impacted by digital, which technologies will provide the impact, and what new business models are released. And Section 10 concludes with the downstream. We'll have, again, a review of what's incorporated in the downstream sector, what the orthodoxies are that the sector works with, which technologies will have the greatest impact, and what new business models get released. Section 11, the final section of the course, are the management issues associated with digital, and here we will have a quick review of issues associated with organizing digital teams, the differences in adoption of agile versus waterfall methods for carrying out digital projects, what this means for talent and the talent and skill set of people, the issues associated with change management and introducing change into the organization driven by digital, the challenges that cyber risks now pose. A greater attack surface means greater cyber potential. What does this mean? And then finally, to put a roadmap together, how do you make decisions and what decisions do you make and in what order so that you can address the digital opportunity. And then optional section called Oil and Gas 101. Here we will have a definition of what oil and gas actually is for those of you unfamiliar with the industry or seeking a deeper background, how oil and natural gas are actually formed, some of the terminology, the industry basics across the different elements of the industry, upstream, midstream, downstream, and services, the history of the industry, current state, and some of the critical developments in the industry, including OPEC and the rise of new global supplies coming from the United States, among other developments.
As you can see, by the end of this course, you will have gained a much better understanding of digital and how the oil and gas industry will be impacted. You'll be one of the few individuals in your company that stands out as a digital leader. You will be uniquely positioned for new and exciting assignments that deal with digital change. And most importantly, you'll have taken the first steps to future-proof your career in what is an increasingly digital world. And please enjoy the course.